Hi guys, Bradley from B-Rad TV here, and today I'm out in the rain to talk to you about identity and ego. Now, when people say, what do you do? The first thing in this day and age everyone will jump to is job, your employment. And that becomes a label for you, and you think that that label will define you, and if you're not impressed by that label, other people won't be impressed by that label. That doesn't mean anything. Your job, it doesn't define who you are, and that's just one little label. All these little labels about everything that you do, they don't define you. They're things that you get up to in your spare time. But if you meet somebody and before they've said, oh, what do you do? And I say, oh, I make videos, I play the guitar, I exercise. And they, no, what do you do for a job? How do you pay your rent? And that's all it boils down to with so many people. Like when they meet you, that's the go-to thing. That's why I'm starting with that. But in regards to all labels, they just don't matter. They do not define who you are going through this life. Your consciousness in here is not something to be packaged up with your career. That is as simple as that. Identity and ego, I think, go hand in hand. Not so much identity, how you regard yourself, but with the ego aspect of it, how you think other people look at you and why you're even bothered by what other people think of you. There is no ego to consider. It's a toxic thing that is going to make you live your life in a way that isn't you and isn't what will truly make you happy. If you're too concerned with what other people are thinking about what you're doing, you're going to do stuff to impress them and like try and change what you're doing to suit and fit some sort of thing that is going to be better for your social image. No, there's no question of anything you're doing. You're doing it simply to impress other people. That's not a reason to do something. Close like competition, I think, is healthy. Always be the best you. And as steel sharpens steel, man sharpens another man. But don't be governed by the ego, your concern of what other people think of what you're doing. When people ask me what I do, I tend to reply with my job. It depends on the setting. I'm sort of socially savvy, but that's the thing, even I'm guilty of it. I was at a party the other day, yeah. I like to party, that's fine, that's fun, those things are here, it's a good time. Don't let the good times turn bad. But someone turns around and says, oh, what do you do? So I just straight away, yep, job, I big it up a little bit, make myself sound even better. Because I'm like worried about what this girl is thinking, I want to impress her in this environment. But it felt horrible. I wasn't lying, I was talking about my job, but I don't believe for a second when someone says, what are you? To answer with this one little thing, oh, it just makes me, it feels horrible. My response should have been, I am a creative explorer who wants to inspire and embody hope and experience all the good things this world has to offer and share those things with as many people as possible. That should have been my answer. Maybe that would have really impressed her, but then why would I think that's going to impress her? It doesn't matter. I am me. This is me. This is what I'm doing. If I get on with someone, that's how it goes. I shouldn't be trying to tamper and change what I'm doing to fit with somebody else's plan or the image I want to create of myself for them. So even I'm guilty of these things. I said I'm not infallible. I'm learning and going on this journey. I'm consciously aware of these things, so I'm trying to adapt myself and my life to feel better and more true and become the real me in every aspect of my life. I'm pretty confident about my identity, who I am, what I like, what I don't like. And I don't need verification from other people to know that. I know that right now. I'm here, I guess with you guys, hey, but I don't need to be told what I like to do, what I should like to do. People who turn around and laugh or whatever at some of the things I do, That's not my problem. I've enjoyed it, I've done that, I like that. When you make a decision about something you want to do, the first and only point should be if you want to do it, if that's going to make you feel good. The first go-to option shouldn't be, oh, what are other people going to think if I do this? That shouldn't even be on the list. If this is something good that you can do and it's enjoyable, it's a good thing, there's no issue of regarding what someone else is going to think if you're doing it. I don't understand. For example, these videos. I don't own this. This isn't my garden. There's people walking around here. They're going to walk past me, stood here, long hair, looking like this, talking to a little camera on my own. It doesn't matter. That doesn't bother me. I'm doing something here. If anything, they'll start talking to me. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just making a little video here. Let's have a chat. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, I'm talking about this. Why? Oh, I don't know. I might share my ideas, might help people. I meet like-minded individuals, have a good time. And then suddenly I'm having an interaction with somebody. When you're a kid, you don't care what other people think. You just play, you just do, you're happy. And then as you grow up, you get so concerned with what your friends, your family, your colleagues, everyone is thinking of you. Especially the media today, the social media, don't just get me started on Facebook as well. All of that stuff, everyone, it's all geared up so that you're thinking about how you look to other people. It's all a major concern of yours. Like any little thing you do, how is that going to be perceived by other people? Letting go of your ego will free you up and bring you so much happiness and contentment. I can't even describe it. You'll just smile and laugh all the time with everything you do, and people won't understand it. They'll be confused by it. They won't understand why you're so happy and amazed all the time, and it's because you're not worried about other people's thoughts of what you're doing. A job I had a few years ago, when I started that, I've always been generally a happy person. Even before the meditation and searching myself and the universe, I was generally full of energy and happy. And going into this job, that didn't really fit in. I noticed after a few weeks, everyone there was miserable. They hated the job, they hated the managers, they hated the company, they didn't like the customers. Like, it was a horrible environment. And say there was 20 people that worked there, they were all like that. They occasionally would smile and laugh, but no one there seemed genuinely content with their life, or even able to fake it to each other. And so to fit in, I had to be miserable. I felt weird being happy there. I was worried what they'd be thinking of me. And so I started trying to say things and change things, and I started moaning, and that actually did really start to have a knock-on effect and genuinely affect my life in a bad way, just because I was pretending to be miserable with these people 5 days a week. Now, the job I've started recently, I went into it the same sort of thing, like happy, well, genuinely happy and content after this long journey I've now been on. But the people there, lots of them, were really, really miserable. Like, even more miserable than some of the people from the previous job, and cruel as well. I'd never encountered. It's sort of a weird self-defense humour, and quite a few of the people have. And it really was quite shocking to get in there. But at this point in my life, not concerned with the ego, I just carried on being me and being happy me. Any sort of bad things or anything that happened, whoosh, over my head, just let it go. If they want to be that way, that's their journey. That's nothing to do with me. It will just bounce off me or glide past me. Like, of course, I have stressful days and things get horrible, and that might affect me. But with regards to the people there, I can just be my happy self. And now at this point, after being there for a little while, people are coming up to me saying, "Bradley, how come you're so happy and amazing? Everyone just says that you're happy all the time and you're full of energy, and I love coming into work when you're here." Like, people come up to me and say they're excited to see me and they're excited to be around me and that I lift them up. Now that's an incredible feeling for someone to come to me and say that. I say, is that a concern of me with the ego? I'm worried that they're now thinking I'm a good person. I guess it might be, but it's more that I feel good because I'm doing good. I haven't gone out with that intention to do that, but like I've said before, pushing that positive, you'll get that positive back, and I've only been able to do that by not being worried what other people think. Like, people are angry and frustrated, and they want money, and they want clothes, and they want to party and have big gold watches, and you've got to be ruthless and angry and cutthroat to do that. If you're peaceful and loving, you're not going to get anywhere in this world. You're not going to be the alpha male and get the hottest girl and the fastest cars or do this if you're nice to people. No, you've got to be horrible. So you're going to change what you are to fit into this idea that other people have invented for you? That's not going to lead to a peaceful, happy life and you feeling the best you can as much as possible. You have to let it go. And that's the best advice, let it go. It's easier said than done. It's been a lengthy process. I'd have to write it down in an essay and have some sort of scientist figure out how I've managed to do it. If it was that simple, I guess everyone would just take this magic pill or read this magic bit of text and it'd happen. It's an ongoing process that will take time, or you just have to know that it's going to be best for you. I guess consciously thinking about everything. When you come to do something, try and be aware if you're being steered by an artificial ego that society has invented for you. You only need to be getting steered by you. Your consciousness will guide you onto what you want to do, not other people's ideas of what they want you to be or what you want people to see you as. Now, identity, it's an easy way to... I'm a realist here, I'm going to say it's an easy way to identify people. You could say how old you are, what job you do, where you live, what is your name. They're easy labels, whatever, just to get by day to day. But in reality, the real truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what you do. It really does not. Your identity is you. At this moment in time, your consciousness. That is you. As handy and convenient as identity is to distinguish in between different human beings, it's also really bad because it distinguishes between different human beings. Say someone supports a certain team or something. There are people that won't talk to them a certain way because they know they support a certain team. That isn't going to bring people together. People who don't like people because they're from a certain place or they look a certain way, that's completely bonkers. There's no substance to that argument, you lunatic. We are in here. There's nothing to consider. Your identity with this body of flesh. Of course it's easy. Hello, I'm Bradley, B-Rad TV. This is what I look like. So this is easily recognisable. If you see me talking, you'll know it's a video like this. But the reality of it is, that's not who I am. I'm doing a video here for you, but if I was to sit down and chat with you, or you live with me for a few months, or something like that, you'd sort of get a feeling for my identity and who I am and what things are. But that's not something I could put down for you in words. You can't do that. Words are just things we've invented to label stuff. You can't trap your identity in a few words. You can sum things up, yes, you can, so like I said, say the details that make it easier to get through the day in normal conversation, but don't for a second let it define you or put any power over you. There is just you to do and explore and love and live and be peaceful and happy. And identity and ego and nothing real. Now the ultimate in labels for identity would be your name. Now I love my name, Bradley, but the thought of having a name, that embodies everything about your life. If I write down Bradley on a bit of paper, that one word, is meant to be me. That's everything I've done, everything I am. That symbol, those letters on that page, that symbolises me, the very fabric of my being. So if I do something wrong, or something bad happens, and I get my name written down there, or someone writes something bad about me, or something like that, and that name has anything horrid around it, is that going to affect me and my identity? Is that going to... it actually did a little while ago. I saw literally my name, and it had nothing to do with me. And it was just weird for me, and it shouldn't have affected me, and it's... like, that's me, Bradley, that's me, but it's not me. That's the thing, I was consciously aware, and even now I'm just trying to think, yep, that is just a few letters jumbled together. I'm Bradley, but I'm not a name. No one's a name, that's ridiculous. All we are is this unfathomable energy that floats around in here and through here. That's what we are, that is my identity. It's ingrained in us, this celebrity culture and a concern with what other people think of us and how that should make us feel. And to feel good, we have to be doing stuff that will impress other people. And I'm guilty of it myself. A few months ago I joined a new gym with a lovely swimming pool, fake palm trees, it just looked incredible. But my first thought when I walked in wasn't, oh, I want to go swimming in this pool that I'm paying for a gym membership for. My first thought was, I'm going to take a photo of this on my phone and write, new swimming pool, yeah, like on Facebook or something. Now why, what a bizarre human reaction. I get to this lovely little area where I can do swimming, which is a beautiful activity. It's so healthy for you, it just frees me, it makes me feel good. I love being in the water and swimming, it's great. And that wasn't my first thought. And it really struck me as soon as I had that thought, oh man, I've got to take a photo of this and show everyone this. What? Why? I know it was to impress people, that's the only thing. I didn't do it. Literally, as soon as I had that thought, I was consciously aware that is why I'd be doing it. And I just had to slap myself mentally in the head, no way Bradley, grow up. This is not a concern of a healthy human being to be like that. I should have just thrown my phone away and dived in the swimming pool, my clothes on, and so happy I was to have a swimming pool in my life again. I'm just going to venture now onto Facebook, which is a massive topic that I'll probably cover in another video. But that is the ultimate in perpetuating the fantasy that is the ego, this non-existent thing. I got rid of my Facebook before and it felt uplifting. I never checked it, it didn't exist, it was fantastic. And then to organise this little film I was doing, I got back on there just so it was convenient to message people. And then of course I stayed on there, and now I upload things and I look at other people's things and I scroll down the feed. It is ridiculous. It is a totally fictional environment. You can't read the context of what people are saying, even when they write down the exact words. It comes from body language, tonality, punctuation, grammar, things that make things sound different. So it's not a real world, it's immaterial, it doesn't mean anything. It just makes you concerned with, like I said, the name as a label. Facebook is your name and your face. That is you as a person. So if you're going to meet a stranger in this world, what's the easiest way that they could sum up who you are? They can assess you, your value, what you're worth. Oh, they're going to assess what I'm worth through a bunch of pixels on a computer, digital images of me and like names and words. That's not it. You can't assess somebody on that. Of course you can see the sort of things people do, but if you're going to wholeheartedly make your judgment of somebody based on some holiday photos, some night out photos, and put all of those connotations you don't know anything about the person onto their name, there's no substance to that sort of thought or assessment of people. And now it's that sort of thinking as well that's going to make you think, oh, are people looking at me and judging me? So you're going to want the best, only the best pictures. You don't want to put on there a photo of you like ill, and then people do put photos of them when they're ill on there. It's like, wow, my life is interesting, but then they might not be doing it for that reason. They might be doing it just to show their friends. Who knows? I'm overthinking it already. It's a fictional environment where nothing matters. The more I think about it, the more I want to delete it, but it is so convenient to message your friends. It's just, I'm guilty of using Facebook and uploading things and scrolling down other people. but you just can't let that in any way sum you up, or feel that it sums you up. It doesn't sum you up, there's no way it can. I could imagine that if I let ego rule my life, I would be concerned with how I looked, dressed, sounded, said things all the time. Anything I said would be carefully monitored by my brain. Every little action I do would be changed and tested and tried out to try and fit in with an image I was trying to create for other people. And I could just imagine that if I lived my whole life like that, I reckon I'd get to my deathbed and I'd think, oh man, what's the point of that? It's just me here now. It's just me and my adventure's coming to an end, and I haven't lived my adventure. I've lived everybody else's adventure that they wanted me to live. I want to know that when I keel over, when I'm conking out, that I have done what Bradley wanted to do. I have lived as free as Bradley could possibly live, and I have done the things that have made me happy, that have made me feel good. And that's all I'm concerned with. All I'm concerned with is knowing that I am having an incredible adventure. You can say that sounds selfish, but then part of my adventure is bringing hope and energy to other people. So that's a really good thing. So my adventure, a big part of it is that. And on my adventure, I have been free. That is it, guys. This is your adventure. There's not anybody else's adventure. The ego is a bunch of chains that are going to hold you down. Break the chains. Throw the ego out the window. This is just the world, and it's how you explore it and get into it. It's everything here, and it's for you to have and you to experience. Look, if I was worried about what people thought of me, would I be running around like a madman? Woo! See, that was incredible! I've just felt the wind and the rain in my face. I've felt the soft grass beneath my feet. I've stretched up to the skies. That was just incredible. Like, if I was too worried about what people thought of me, I wouldn't have just done that. There's the woman walking her dog's just seen me do that. Not my fault. I just had a right laugh. She smiled. You've got to just play. No adults, just play. Now I think the definition of play would be just an activity for the sake of doing the activity and making you feel good. There's no ego, there's no identity, there's only your consciousness enjoying doing something and being happy. And the more you do that, the happier you will be. That's the ultimate example. I don't even know where that came from. That just came from the ether into me, something I had to do, and it made me feel good. And it's also helped me with this video to try and demonstrate to you that the freest you can live, the happiest you can live, is without the restrictions of the ego. Your identity, of who you are. I know who I am and what I want to do. As far as I'm concerned, that is my identity. And it's not a thing. It's a weird word to try and describe a fluid state of an everlasting consciousness. It's not, you can't contain an identity in a word. It's not possible. I feel like my videos are going to start getting more fluid, more natural, more honest as well, and I was going to start scripting them, so I wanted to make sure I get everything down in an order, and I don't want to say something wrong and tie it in differently. I want everything to be perfect and nice. And again, I think that was a bit of the ego, perfectionism maybe. I want everyone out there to think I'm the best at talking, I'm the best at saying these brilliant things that are the best things in the world. And I just had to let that go, because it was just governing. I was not going to do a video, I was going to sit and plan and think, and I'm saying preparation is a good thing, but putting off creative ideas and putting things off because I was worried about making them too perfect for other people's expectations, no, that's just going to hinder any sort of progress and creative output that I come up with, it's just good to just woof. I feel like this is good, not having them scripted. I can just sort of talk and chat. It's more freeing. I feel really lucky to have discovered this so early on in life. I feel like it's a life hack that is a big part of leading to real happiness and contentment on this journey. And I want to try and say to you, this video isn't going to suddenly free you of the ego, but I want to make you aware of how non-existent it is, and how it's a fictional sort of psychological disorder that the external world does to the internal you, and you don't have to let it, and it will just lift you up and free you by letting it go. You are your consciousness right now. I am my consciousness right now. That is who we are. You are not your past. I am not my past. I am not a set of clothes. I am not this long hair. We are living energy, flowing through space and time, exploring ourselves, developing and evolving all the time. That is a brief description in words that could sort of suggest what an identity really is. But an identity isn't something that you could ever put into a few words. Be the free consciousness that you are, and you'll be happy and awesome, and don't be bogged down by external sources of media and people. There is only you and the consciousness that you are going on a journey and having a wonderful time. Enjoy this amazement, guys. Have an awesome day. B-Rad.